Hello and welcome to National Focus. I am Octavia Prosper. In the headlines, Dominica takes the lead in the journey towards education reform in the region. The Food and Agriculture Organization, FAO, assists Dominica in exploring the production of high-end fruits and vegetables. And government provides grants to 51 small businesses owners. The details of the headline stories and more when we return. Welcome back. Dominica is taking the lead in the journey to education reform in the region. This as Prime Minister Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit held his first meeting with key stakeholders in the education sector to discuss the need for a review in the education system. Daryl Teet has more in this report.
Prime Minister Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit has described as important a meeting with principals of secondary schools on island held on Monday, May 8 at the Ministry of Finance conference room. The meeting forms part of the Prime Minister's call for a comprehensive review of the region's education system to focus on the holistic development of the child and not only academic performance. Speaking at a regional symposium on crime and violence as a public health issue in Port of Spain, Trinidad last month, Prime Minister Skerrit called for a dramatic and urgent review of our education system in the region as part of efforts to combat crime.
We moved from 7 subjects at CXC and GC to now 15 and 18 per student. The same 5 hours, it has been increased, but we've increased the number of subjects being offered to our students. Sports and physical education have taken second place. Extracurricular activities in the classroom no longer exist. And yes, we boast of the percentage of passes at CXC examinations or national exams, but we fail to pay attention to the 20 and the 30% of those who did not get to the matriculation level. And I think we are focusing on those who do well academically, or we fail to pay attention to the mental and emotional state of our children.
Monday's meeting brought together principals of all secondary schools on island to include public and private institutions and those operated by the church.
I've started a series of consultations with various stakeholders along with the Minister for Education and the Parliamentary Secretary in the Ministry of Education. So today we met with all principals of all schools, both government schools and government-assisted schools, and a very constructive engagement. And clearly, I believe that we are all aligned in respect of the need for there to be some kind of reform. So it's a matter for now for us to define the various elements of that reform effort. But it was very constructive engagement, and certainly some very good points came forward.
The consultations will continue with a view of engaging all stakeholders viewed critical in the development of children.
We're going to be meeting primary school principals, then we'll be meeting representatives of Parent Teachers Association across the country, meeting with the church, especially those who manage schools, meeting with students as well, the private sector. So the idea is to solicit from everybody their support to that effort. And of course, we intend to engage a consultancy firm who will help with the national discussion and consultations and recommendations. But we also will put in place a national advisory board made up of principals, students, and the various groups in society who will assist with that.
Meanwhile, secondary school principals have welcomed the dialogue and have called for more such consultations in the future.
Well, it was a very productive meeting in the sense that we all got to air our issues, our gripes, and we had a really good discussion on it. We're hoping, based on what was discussed, that certain things will be addressed.
It was really worth the while, and the experience was one that we definitely can say that we will benefit from. Our concerns was addressed, and we definitely see that we will get some of our concerns, if not all our concerns addressed. It gave us the opportunity to really identify areas that we see needed improving in the education, and I must say I'm grateful that we got this opportunity to meet with the Prime Minister to discuss that.
Well, the meeting was very timely indeed. We needed that meeting, and then we got a chance to bring out the pertinent points, the challenges that we are facing, and then we also got a chance to hear from the Prime Minister, pertaining to the national transformation that has been taking place, especially focusing mainly on the TVET, and the technical subjects, which we have already been implementing at Northeast Comprehensive School. We have been implementing the woodwork, auto mechanics, technical drawing, food and nutrition, agriculture, family resource management. And I must say hats off to my dedicated and hardworking staff at Northeast Comprehensive School as well.
I think it's a good and proper meeting because we were able to discuss a number of things that affect us as principals and eventually the education system. I believe that more meetings like these should be held, and do not wait until something happens to do like that. Because the changing society requires a lot of reform, and education is one of the areas that needs to be reformed. But we need to know from the principal, because we are the ones in it. So even though they make changes and so at the top, they have to know what we are facing down at the bottom, so we can actually implement some of these things. But I just sincerely hope that what was discussed here this morning, it just doesn't leave like that.
Improving the education system is one of the hallmarks of the Dominica Labour Party administration in the quest for achieving a resilient and dynamic Dominica.
Dominica is exploring the production of high-end fruits and vegetables with the assistance of the Food and Agriculture Organization, FAO. Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Agriculture, Fisheries and Blue and Green Economy, Mr. Reginald Severin, says 2 consultants from the FAO are currently on island exploring the country's agroecological zones, seeking to determine and give recommendations on the most suitable areas for the production of high-end fruits and vegetables.
We're talking about strawberries, grapes, tomatoes, bell peppers, broccoli, cauliflower, and all these, if you observe in the supermarkets across town, these very expensive commodities which we're going to explore the production of, because there are some areas in Dominica that are suitable for growing these vegetables and fruits.
The FAO consultants are also involved in developing Dominica's agriculture's transformation roadmap.
Basically, it is a document that will spell out the framework for realization of the $700 million contribution to GDP that we set to achieve by 2030. It will spell out what actions that we need to take, what investments that we need to make, and who are the players that will be critical, stakeholders that will be critical to work with the Ministry of Agriculture to ensure that we have set the right base to achieve the target that we have set for us in the Ministry of Agriculture.
The FAO consultants include a plant production and protection officer and a program coordinator in disaster risk management and resilience. 51 small business owners now have the requisite capital to invest in the growth and sustainability of their businesses after receiving grants from the government of Dominica. The grants were awarded after a rigorous selection process and were distributed to a diverse group of small business owners across the island. The grants targeted small and micro enterprises in various industries and sectors, including health and wellness, physical fitness, manufacturing, and food and beverage. Minister with responsibility for small business development, Honorable Darren Pinard, encouraged the grant recipients to put the funding to good use. Minister Pinard emphasized the importance of maintaining a sustainable enterprise.
I implore you to keep making your businesses your priority. Ensure that your business is as healthy as possible at all times. Give it every opportunity to survive and grow. Continue to employ good business practices such as proper record keeping and prudent financial management. Spend your monies wisely. Try to open a separate account between yourselves and the businesses. Don't deplete the business's inventory for your personal use. Many businesses have failed because of this malpractice.
Minister Peanut has pledged government support to the growth and development of small, micro, and medium enterprises in Dominica.
The government of Dominica is here to support you to create that enabling environment where you and other businesses like yours can grow and thrive. The government over the past 2 years have provided financial assistance in the amount of $1.3 million to 300 beneficiaries. This financial intervention was coupled with technical assistance and training. It must be noted that these funds were made available during a tough global and domestic period. We have also collaborated with CRID to develop an MSME toolkit which consists of the MSME website, the business management guidebook, and a database. This toolkit will position the ministry to better cater to your needs as small business owners. The business sector is dynamic by nature. As such, we will continue to adapt to ensure we are providing the best possible support to small business owners and the sector.
The government of Dominica recognizes the importance of small businesses in driving economic growth and job creation and will continue with direct financial support and technical training in efforts to improve small, medium, and micro enterprises on island. Member of Parliament for the Cottage constituency, Honorable Roland Royer, has highlighted the importance of village councils in the improvement of the quality of life for residents. Speaking at the 18th inaugural meeting of the Tatan, Savanpai, Tukari, Cottage Village Council last week, Honorable Royer stated that village councils are a direct link between central government and the most vulnerable residents in the communities.
Our sparse settlement and remote village in Dominica mean that there's a need for a system like local government and for services to get closer to people in communities through this medium. Councils bring services closer to our residents, but more so to the elderly and most vulnerable among us. We cannot achieve true resilience without community resilience, without our policies and intervention reaching and impacting all our citizens. Therefore, community organization and community leadership remain key to ensuring that critical government services are decentralized and efficiently administered, and that investment in critical sectors are aligned with the people's needs and reality.
Honorable Royer explained that there is a partnership between local and central government for the smooth implementation of government programs.
Council does not exist without the support of central government. So there's a shared interest and shared goal of both the local government and central government. We must also remember that it is central government that provides a monthly grant and necessary resources for housing, sanitation, support to our elderly through public assistance program, and pension to those above 65, and many other technical and professional support. So there's a partnership and must keep working together. So we cannot divorce local government or village council from central government.
The Cottage MP urged the newly sworn-in village council to be inclusive in all its actions to ensure a better life for all its residents.
The Tatan Savanpai Tukari Cottage Village Council now, having been properly constituted and seated, must get down to business. You ought to adopt an inclusive and collaborative approach. Inclusion of residents, leaving no one behind, the youth, past councillors, women, students, the elderly, visitors, and together with your Member of Parliament, which is yours truly, to develop and execute plans and programs that uplift people, making their lives better.
Honorable Royer told the council that they must work together if they are to build on the potential that the constituency has for economic growth.
You have heard my core priorities as your Member of Parliament, which is no secret: agricultural development, the digital economy, small business development, and tourism development. The evidence is there that the Belol and Tukari beaches offer the greatest potential for community tourism to create economic opportunities for a large section of our people. We must play our part to work in unity to develop the product, to keep the beaches clean, to ensure we are hospitable to our visitors, to our patrons, and ensure the safety, and most importantly, provide quality service.
Honorable Royer advised the council to remain connected with the residents while he pledged to work with the team on creating new programs for the development of their communities.
Despite differences that may exist, we commit to working as a team, as teamwork makes the dream work the same. 2, your first order of business should be to review of ongoing programs and to determine ways to improve service delivery and improve our collaboration to get the ongoing projects completed. 3, we should also conduct a community needs assessment to determine the priority needs of the area, nothing too complex or formal, but to do a walkthrough to meet the people who voted for you and to hear from others as well. I will join you on those walks if you so invite me. Let's commit to sharing ideas and collaborating. So as your PAL rep, I am committed to avail myself to meet with you as often as you wish.
You're watching National Focus. More when we return. Welcome back. The 2023 Dumbfesta Art Exhibition has officially opened to the public on May 8, 2023 at the Old Mill Cultural Center. More in this report.
The Division of Culture is excited to officially open the doors to the Dominica Festival of Arts Dumbfesta Art Exhibition 2023. The work of artists around Dominica will be on display from May 8 to 13, 2023 at the Art Gallery of the Old Mill Cultural Center. The exhibition, hosted by the Division of Culture, features the work of artists in league with the Waitakubuli Artists Association, as well as independent artists in Dominica. Speaking at the launch of the art exhibition, the Minister for Culture, Youth, Sports and Community Development, Honorable Greta Roberts, reiterated the support of the ministry in advancing culture in Dominica and acknowledged the late Alwyn Bully's contribution to culture.
I would like to reiterate the ministry's commitment to the development of fine arts in Dominica. We are currently working in partnership with the Organization of American States, OAS, to establish a proper framework to the advancement of the cultural industries in Dominica. I wish to again applaud at this time the work of our cultural icon, Dr. Alwyn Bully, who has made a significant contribution to our cultural landscape, especially in the area of arts, and has made visible the far-reaching effects of the arts.
The art exhibition is a culmination of diverse painting styles, themes, and concepts, which shows the artistic excellence of Dominican artists. The art gallery exhibits the work of popular artists Aaron Hamilton, Shadrach Burton, and La Rock, as well as promising new artists in Dominica. Minister Roberts encouraged the public to show their support to the activities of Dumbfesta and to visit the Dumbfesta Art Exhibition while it is still open.
At this time, I wish to encourage the general public to participate in all the activities that constitute Dumbfesta 2023, our art exhibition, which will run from today up to the 13th of this week, the primary school's Creole Spelling Bee competition on the 17th of May, the DIFA end of year concert on the 18th, Fusion on the 20th, and Lyrics Under the Stars on the 25th. Everything sounds interesting, so people will come. I want to urge the public to continue to support all the activities of Dumfesta, but today it is all about our art exhibition.
Adicia Burton for the Government Information Service.
The government of Dominica, through the Ministry of Education, Human Resource Planning, Vocational Training and National Excellence, has launched the official ceremony of the opening of Library Week under the theme Libraries Connect Generations as part of celebrations of Library Week 2023. Minister for Education, Human Resource Planning, Vocational Training and National Excellence, Honorable Octavia Alfred, says the observance of Library Week allows the nation to reflect on the impact of the library on the lives of individuals.
This week, the Dominica Library and Information Service observed Library Week 2023 with the theme Libraries Connect Generations. The observance of Library Week allows us as a nation to reflect on the provision of library and information services and impact on our lives. As Minister with responsibility for library services, I am pleased to be able to again recognize the invaluable role that the Dominica Library and Information Service continues to play in the support of the ministry's literacy goals by creating and strengthening reading habits in children, the provision of information for development, and for the pursuit of leisure time activities, and providing lifelong learning opportunities through their programs.
Minister Alfred gave a brief insight of the history of Dominica's public library.
For Dominica, our library journey dates back to 1832 with the establishment of the Dominica Public Circulating Library at Charlottesville. Thereafter, from April 4th, 1902, when the Victoria Memorial Library formally opened its doors, the Dominica Library Service never ceased in providing common spaces for learning, socializing, and preserving collective history and culture, while serving as a platform for knowledge sharing and fostering intergenerational connections through the exchange of information, experiences, and ideas. Our libraries serve as learning spaces for young children to learn to read, develop their imaginations, and explore new worlds through books.
Minister Alfred says government continues to advance work towards the full development of the new library for the capital.
As a government, we recognize the importance of the library service in bridging the information gap, providing access to information and serving as a gateway for citizens to the vast array of available information sources and resources. Thus, we continue to advance work towards a new library for Roseau and the reorganization of the Grand Bay Library for sustainable and modern library services. I now take this opportunity to declare Library Week 2023 officially open.
The official results of the Collio Village Council election have been announced, with Larissa Granton topping the polls. A total number of 167 individuals voted at the elections held on May 8, 2023. The results were declared by the presiding officer, Ghislaine Langley.
Okay, the official results for the Collio Village Council general elections. In first position, we have Larissa Granton with 129 votes. Second position, we have YSL Philogene with 126 votes. Third position, we have Kim Sebastian with 111. Fourth position, we have Bernard Gabriel with 101. And the fifth position, Marshall Severed, 81 votes.
She described the voter turnout positively and noted that the youth actively participated in this year's election. She reported that the turnout was similar to the last election. Meanwhile, top candidate of the Collio Village Council election, Larissa Granton, spoke of her intentions for the following years as part of the council.
A few of the plans that I have for the community is bringing the youth of this community together, working closely with the elderly, enhance a few road projects, as well as overviewing certain things in the community which needs to get, like projects that need to get done as soon as yesterday, and also working with the PALREP, the government by extension, the progressive party groups within the community in making Collioure great again.
She further highlighted her plans for the youth within the Collioure constituency.
Well, one of the main topics that are always being discussed within Collioure is the sports. So I plan to bring back recreational activities, sporting activities, extra classes for persons going to school like primary and secondary level, also engage them into joining groups and so on.
Parliamentary Representative for Collioure, Honorable Darren Pinard, expressed some of his hopes for this council.
What I hope to see from this village council is a good collaboration, between the council and the PALREP's office, as well as all the other progressive groups in Collioure. You know, the village council have a very important role to play in the overall structure of our government. The village council is essentially the government of the village. You know, it has a lot of responsibilities with respect to the roads, for example, the garbage disposal and area systems, and the other aspects of it. They also serve as a great payment mechanism, you know, for various things such as the NEP and so on. So having that good working relationship with government is essential, so, you know, for smooth operations of the village.
Site visitors from the International Agency for Accreditation and Rating, IAAR, met with Dominica's Prime Minister, Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit, and members of his cabinet on Wednesday, May 3, 2023, to discuss areas of cooperation between the government of Dominica and the American-Canadian School of Medicine trustees. Present at the meeting were Ambassador Hubert Charles, former CEO of the Royal College of Canada, Dr. Andrew Padmos, former president of the Society of Maternal Fetal Medicine and Wayne State University Academy of Scholars, Dr. Bob Sokol, chairman of the board of directors of the American-Canadian School of Medicine, Dr. Arvind Bangapur, president of the American-Canadian School of Medicine, Dr. Kari James, and dean of the American-Canadian School of Medicine, Dr. Ramin Ahmadi. Prime Minister Skerrit expressed his full support for the American-Canadian School of Medicine and its mission to provide high-quality medical education to students in the Commonwealth of Dominica and from other countries. Officials of the Board of Directors of the American-Canadian School of Medicine presented the school's plan for the growth and expansion and committed to the high standards of academic quality and rigor. Chairman Dr. Arvind Bangapur stated that the board is pleased to have the support of the Prime Minister and his cabinet as they continue to expand efforts to provide world-class medical education to students in the Commonwealth of Dominica and beyond. Open quote, "The American-Canadian School of Medicine is committed to meeting the highest standards of academic quality and consistency, and we look forward to working with the government to further our mission," close quote, he added. The American-Canadian School of Medicine is a leading medical school located in the Commonwealth of Dominica, offering MD degree programs in medicine. The school is committed to providing a first-class education that prepares students for successful careers in medicine in North America. And that's all for this edition of National Focus. Be sure to follow GIS Dominica on Facebook, YouTube, and on Twitter. You can also drop us an email at gis@dominica.gov.dm. From all of us here on the GIS News Production team, I am Octavia Prosper. Thanks for watching.